Hi there, my name is Ollie Burns and I perform on wrestling shows as Priscilla, Queen of the Ring. And today I'm going to be studying 6-man tag match builds. Six-man tag matches are one of my favourite matches to watch, but probably my least favourite to plan. Reason for this? Because there's so many people who have all made their way to the show that day and they all want to get their shit in, and I want to get my shit in too, but unfortunately we've only been given 8 minutes by the promoter to make sure that all 6 of us have a moment to shine. This is a difficult spot to be in. You want the match to pop, but if you put too much in, it could become convoluted, it may not be as fun to watch, and you may end up costing yourself or one of your colleagues some work in the future. As part of our match planning series, I'm going to be giving you a simple 6-man tag structure which you can insert all your moves and allow everyone to get a nice moment to shine without taking away from the match itself. Now there are many 6-man tags that you can watch to get inspiration and say, hey, I'm going to be person A, he's going to be person B, he's going to be person C. Let's make sure that we all follow that structure. But some of these matches are more complicated than others, and when they're more complicated, you generally require more time in the gym working with all the different people in there to make sure that those 6 moving parts are in the right places at the right times. Sounds like a nightmare, am I right? Now in the late 2000s through to 2002-03, there was a lot of 6-man tag matches happening on television which all had less than 10 minutes. And if you watch closely, you'll find almost all of them had the exact same match structure. By that I mean you could label the roles for each person on each team and you could see them come in and have their moment at the same point in every match. But it was done in a way that kept the excitement levels up, in a way that the fans didn't necessarily cotton on, and also allowed everybody to get their moment and keep the match flowing in a short period of time. So what is that match plan, I hear you asking? Well, that's what I'm going to give you here today. Now a typical match will have a nice shine at the beginning that tells you who the face is, you'll have a workover period that tells you who the heel is, and you'll have an exciting moment at the end that brings it all together. And a 6-man tag can do the exact same thing, just as simply, whilst allowing everybody to get their moment. The way I break it down is I give a role to each of the people on the face team. The role of the high flyer, the role of the victim, and the role of the hero. Now each of these people are going to be able to get a nice moment of offense showing exactly what they can bring to the table. But if you can pick those roles for each person, that's the hard part of the job done. Now rather than allowing everybody to get a nice moment at the start, try telling the story, which is essentially the faces can out-wrestle the heels. So you get that high flyer in to start the match. They show a nice shine, giving those fancy moves that gets the crowd excited, gets them pumped up. You can have one or several heels come in to take this offense, allowing them to get little moments as well, but essentially you give the shine of the match to the high flyer. Once the high flyer has had his nice shine, it brings in the victim, and then they perform a double team. They show the audience that as a team, they are able to work together and dominate the heels. Now, as soon as the victim is tagged in and had that little bit of offense, you then want to go to the cutoff. So this is where the heels cheat, they gang up on the face, and they get that victim down and start grounding and pounding and cheating and making the audience boo the house down. The victim is typically going to be your best seller, the person who's best at reaching out for the tag, looking like they're in peril, getting the crowd going, getting the sympathy going. And of course, during the workover, the hero needs to push themselves as the person that's going to save the day. They can do this by reaching around trying to get the audience going, puffing out the chest, getting aggressive, trying to get in the ring whenever the heels cheat. All those lovely jubbly tag moments that we're used to. But make sure it's the hero who's really pushing the fact that they're ready for the tag. If anything, you want the high flyer to be like, yeah, come on, let's get this guy in, let's get this guy in, I'm tired from earlier, but this guy, he's gonna fuck you up. All the while the victim is reaching out for this tag. Now this workover is the period where each of the heels get to get their offense in. So when I'm planning these 6-man tags, after we've got the shine for the high flyer and the cutoff for the victim, I then try to work out 3 hope spots that allow each of the heels to get a nice bit of offense, get some of their moves in, and show the audience what they can bring to the table as well. But at the same time, it's not breaking up the story, which is that the victim wants to make the tag to the hero. Now you might be wondering when the victim gets their moment to shine, and that will typically be in the double down or the moment where they go to make the tag. Depending on what moves they have, you can build up to it, they finally hit that big move or that string of offense or that top rope superplex, whatever it takes to get that level playing field so the victim can now make the tag. But essentially, it's that double down moment where the victim gets their big bit of offense in. At this point, they make that tag, the hero comes in, house of fire, cleaning the table, knocking people down, left, right, centre, gets a bunch of moves in, lovely jubbly, the hero gets his offense in at the end along with that big face pop for the hot tag. Of course, you're not going to leave the high flyer on the apron all the way through the finish, so if the hero hits a nice few moves and gets a big near fall, what you could do is have the other 2 heels come in, break it up. This then has all the heels and the hero in the ring and allows for the high flyer to come off the top rope with something, or perhaps the high flyer and the victim run in, clear the ring, and then the high flyer does a big old dive onto all the guys ringside, leaving the hero and the legal heel in the ring to do some kind of finish. Doing a big dive spot allows for a distraction so that the hero or the last heel can be looking at those people ringside, they can be getting ready for a dive of their own, or they can be setting up for the finish in amidst all that carnage as 2 people are left in the ring. This structure allows for creativity, so each person is allowed to have their moments where they do the kinds of spots they like. And you can add in other moments such as everybody hitting a big move towards the end. Again, that works really well after you've done a big dive spot or a big move off the top rope. But essentially, this structure allows for every person to get a nice moment leading up to the finish. So one more time, you've got your high flyer, your victim, your hero, you've got your 3 heels. You start the match with the high flyer, getting a nice shine, getting the energy going, bringing in the victim, do a cool double team, show that cohesiveness as a team. You then cut off that victim and you work the victim over, allowing moments for each of the heels to get their main bit of offense in during the workover. The victim gets their big bit of offense as you do the double down, going into the hot tag, which is when the hero comes in, they get all of their shit in, hit a big move, have a big breakup with all the heels breaking it up. Bring all the faces in to clear the ring of those heels, do some big move that levels the playing field. That leaves 2 people in the ring, nice and simple, to do some kind of finish. You can complicate it and bring those people back in the ring to do something even bigger and better, but at the same time, you know for sure that everybody has had a nice moment so that they will be remembered walking away, whilst at the same time, you've kept the match so simple that all the fans can follow it, no matter how familiar they are with you, no matter how old or clued up they are on wrestling, they're able to see exactly what's going on and everybody has had a nice moment. I hope that match structure has been useful, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I'll be sure to look through and respond to them, and we'll see if we can get the conversation going and share some ideas. And if you find this structure useful, let us know. Show us the matches you come up with. We're keen to see the products which you guys bring to the table. Thanks for studying with me today. I have been Ollie Burns. Be sure to hit subscribe so that you can get future content and continue to study the theory of wrestling.